Hey everybody, it's Kendra. Welcome to my channel if you're new, and welcome back if you've been here before. So my video today is going to be a celery juicing update. This is my celery juice for today. It's not the prettiest celery juice, but I can suck it down just fine. Whew, delicious. Anywho, if you've been following my channel for a while, you know I have done other celery juice update videos before. So I started drinking celery juice every morning at the end of May 2019. So here we are, mid-August 2021. So I'm going on about 2 years and 2.5 months. It's been a long journey. It's been a lot of time, cleaning the juicer and actually juicing, but I'm so glad that I've done it. So anyway, my video today is just going to be an update. I want to talk about my health, different things that have changed, because I'm so glad I did this. I feel like this has been a huge help in my healing journey. So anywho, like I said, we're at about 2 years and 2.5 months of doing this. The first few months I started this, I was probably doing about 16 ounces of celery juice every morning. But I would say I probably went up to 32 ounces. I mean, the whole jar is 32 ounces. I don't just drink this small amount. This is a quart, this is 32 ounces. I've probably been doing that for over 1.5 years. I don't drink this immediately when I wake up. Right away when I get up, I have 32 ounces of water with lemon juice. I suck that down, and then probably like an hour or so later, then I will do my 32 ounces of celery juice. Often in the morning, I do find that I'm not super hungry. So usually in the morning, like I'll do my water, I'll do my celery juice. I will have a couple cups of green tea. But as far as like food, I'm just not super hungry. And that is one thing that I have noticed from doing the celery juicing. I feel like before I would wake up and be starving. Now I'm not. Like I, do my juice, do my tea. I might have a little bit of fruit or something, but I don't want anything super heavy in the morning. One of the main changes I have noticed from doing celery juicing for an extended period of time is that my food sensitivities have improved so much. Before I started doing this, like a few months before I started celery juicing, I actually had food sensitivity testing done, and it was like, I was like sensitive to everything. And like, sure, the test said that, but like just in my body, I felt it too. Wheat, terribly sensitive to, and I still am. Like wheat is the one thing, wheat and MSG are the two things I will not touch, because I know they will trigger a migraine for me. Like that is like, no amount of celery juicing is going to heal wheat or MSG for me. But like dairy, eggs, bananas, pineapple, beef, like there were so many things I was super, super sensitive to. Like bananas and pineapple, I would eat that. Literally within like a half an hour, I would have a migraine. And I would be sick for like a day, 2 days, super bad headache, super nauseous, like felt terrible. I'm so happy to report that these are getting better. I can now put like half a banana into a smoothie and I'm fine. I've been playing around with eating dried pineapple and I'm fine. If I eat cheese or like regular dairy ice cream, I'm generally okay. Like I don't feel amazing. Like if I eat a ton, I won't feel the greatest the next day, but I'm not miserable. I'm not super, super sick. I don't get a headache. I don't like feel super, super nauseous. As for eggs, I couldn't tell you the last time I actually ate like scrambled eggs or like had a hard-boiled egg or something. But if I have, like a gluten-free baked thing that has a couple eggs in it, it's fine. For a couple years, I was really, really strict about all of that, and I still am. Like, I still don't really eat eggs. I don't really eat dairy. There's still a lot of stuff I avoid, but now I feel like if I do have a little bit, I'm okay. I definitely don't get the migraines that I used to. Like, I still will get them, and I still will not feel great, but usually it's either from like a ton of stress, sometimes from the heat. If it's super, super hot, that can trigger it. Or like if we're getting a big storm or something, sometimes like the barometric pressure changes can trigger that for me. But as far as food, if I have wheat or if I have MSG, like a lot of MSG, yes, I will have a migraine for sure. But as far as like just food sensitivities in general, I'm so much better. One thing related to the food sensitivities, I think our last apartment, which we lived in for about 4.5 years, it was moldy. Like the dishwasher broke and like the maintenance guy pulled out the dishwasher and there was a lot of mold behind it. So I do think a lot of my food sensitivities came from living in a moldy apartment. I mean, I'm in the kitchen all the time. So I think I was just breathing in a lot of mold for 4.5 years. So I'm really grateful that, you know, halfway into our time living in that apartment, I started doing the celery juicing, because I just think like, if I hadn't been celery juicing for like, you know, a couple years while we lived in that apartment, where would my health be today? Like I don't even want to imagine it, because I really have noticed since we left, and we've only been gone for 2.5 months, I feel like my health has improved so much just from leaving that moldy space. Okay, so yeah, that's food. Another thing related to food that has changed for me relates to meat. I just don't crave meat. Like I'll eat meat and I'm fine. I don't really eat chicken. I don't really do a lot of poultry. I really just don't crave it. A few months into doing celery juicing, I did have chicken a couple times and I puked it up. So there was something weird with chicken, and I just, you know, since then, since I haven't really eaten chicken much for the last couple years, I just don't really think to buy it. Beef I'm okay with. I don't really eat much pork. Yeah, so meat, I don't really cook it here. I don't really cook it at our apartment. Like if we're visiting my parents, if we go over there for dinner, I'll have meat and I'm fine. So that's a good thing. Like before, sometimes with meat, it would make me kind of sick or I wouldn't feel great. Now I'm okay when I eat it, but I just don't really eat a lot of it, and I don't crave it at all. Okay, other health stuff I have noticed, my skin. I feel like my skin has improved so much. Before, when I used to film, I would use Kevyn Aucoin's Etherealist foundation, which is gorgeous, and I still sometimes use that. But it's like a beautiful foundation, especially for any like on camera stuff. But now, like right now, I'm wearing Ilia. It's like some serum foundation. Like it's much lighter. Like I feel like I don't need as much makeup to just make my skin look good. So yeah, my facial skin has improved a lot. I used to get like horribly painful like pimples like above my lip, on my chin, my jawline. So much better. I would say about 6 months into celery juicing, it was like every toxin and grossing that was in my body was just coming out through my forehead. My forehead skin was horrible for a good chunk of time, like a year and a half. I actually got bangs to hide it for a while. Don't do that, because bangs are a serious commitment. But yeah, that's really cleared up a lot. I do notice if I eat a lot of fat, sometimes I will start to break out like around like this part of my face, like inner eyebrow kind of area. Yeah, I definitely notice I'm sensitive to fat. If I eat too much fat, then like I feel it in like my liver, my gallbladder. But once I have my celery juice, it flushes it out and I feel so much better. So yeah, facial skin, a lot better. I used to have something called Keratosis Pilaris on my arms, like my upper arms. Basically it looks just like small pimples. And like if you squeeze them, like stuff comes out. And I had that for years, probably 20 years. And my arms are freaking smooth and it's amazing. I also do have eczema on this finger and now on my pinky as well. This started when I was around 24, 25. I took Roaccutane. I lived in South Korea, and like when I lived there, like you could get Roaccutane like super easily. Which was crazy because like in the US and France, like you've got to take like pregnancy tests and be on birth control and like do all this stuff because it can cause like super severe birth defects. So I think a lot of my health stuff I'm dealing with now stems from taking Roaccutane. Because it like dries out your skin. It dries out your skin so much. And this eczema started when I was on Roaccutane. So this is a lot better. I still have it, but it has become way more manageable and just like not nearly as gross or painful as it had been. So I said that my food sensitivities are a lot better, and they are. I do feel like if I'm not eating well, or if I'm not taking care of my body, if I'm tired, like if I just kind of I'm super stressed out or super tired or super run down, or I'm just eating a bunch of crap, my body is really quick to tell me. It's like, I feel like my body has been taken care of really well for a couple years, and my body's like, yeah, this is great, we feel good. So then when I start to abuse it, my body's like, time out. No. And my body lets me know like when I need to just stop and sleep, or just de-stress, or just eat a lot better. So yeah, so it's like my body's still sensitive, but in a different way. It's not sensitive as much to certain foods, but it just is quick to tell me like, take care of me. One thing that has happened that like I'm not thrilled with, but I'm accepting it and I'm trying to embrace it as I get older. I do feel like my body composition kind of changed. I noticed this first, like very quickly after I started celery juicing. I felt like my boobs just kind of grew. I've never had like big boobs. Like I was always kind of like small B cup, and now I feel like I'm like a fuller kind of B cup. Like, so I guess my boobs grew, but I do just kind of feel like not like kind of flabbier, like less tone. Let's just say I feel like I have less definition and less tone. And I'm not like a crazy exerciser or like weightlifter or anything, but I always just kind of felt like just from doing kind of normal stuff, like I had some sort of tone. I noticed this kind of in like my hips and like my thighs. And I'm not gonna give you a visual, but yeah, I do feel like less toned. And I have seen some people talk about like when they're healing their bodies, like they're detoxing this stuff and it can go into your fat cells and it can make you fat. I don't know. But that is one thing. Like I don't feel fat, like I don't feel overweight. And like, I feel like my body is still about the same size, and my clothes, some of my clothes might be a little bit tighter, but that might be like because of dealing with the pandemic, or maybe because I'm older, I don't know. But yeah, I do feel like my body composition has changed a little bit, but I'm okay, because like if I have to gain a little bit of weight, or like become like my mass increases a little bit, if I have to deal with that to like become healthy, I don't care. Like that's fine. Like my health is like the most important. So yeah, I got like bigger boobs and like a bigger butt. I don't know. It's fine. My husband's happy with it. Also, I want to talk about energy, because this was another thing that was really bothering me with my health. I felt super tired all the time a few years ago. Thinking back, I think it was probably a mold issue. I think a lot of my health stuff stemmed from living in a moldy space. And then also like, I think the Roaccutane I took in my 20s impacted my health a lot. And I did Botox a few times in my 20s. And I think that had a lot of impact on my health as well. I will have to do a Botox video at some point, because I have a lot to say about that. But anyway, energy. I feel like I still get tired. I feel like sometimes I still do get run down and I need like a day or so to recover. But I've actually started to run again. I used to be a big runner in my early 20s. I did a marathon, I did a half marathon. I was a crazy runner. And the last few years, like, no, I could only walk, I couldn't run, it was way too much for me. And I've started to run again, which is amazing because I always loved it. Like running for me, it wasn't about like the exercise, like it wasn't about like physical exercise, it was mental for me. Like it just cleared my brain and made me feel so good. So not running a ton, you know, once a week, a couple times a week, you know, 2-3 miles here and there, but just to be able to do it and then still be able to function, not be completely wiped out for a couple days, is really huge for me. Also, I do notice if for some reason I skip my celery juice for a day, I always kind of feel it. Like I don't feel very clear. I feel a little bit sluggish. My digestion feels sluggish. My digestion has been great. Like if I'm ever constipated, I have my celery juice, clears me right out. Like celery juice has been amazing for my digestion. I very rarely have any sort of like acid reflux. I feel like things just digest properly. I used to have a lot of like pains kind of in like my liver, gallbladder area. I really feel like if I had not done this, I probably would have had my gallbladder removed, which I did not want. And I know that is not like a good long-term solution. But I don't have those pains anymore. I feel good. Like, I can't like say like, oh, my liver hurts today, my gallbladder hurts. Like, I don't feel anything. Like, it's just my body and it feels normal. So yeah, celery juicing has been so huge for me digestively. So that's about all I wanted to mention regarding my celery juice journey. I plan to continue, don't have any plans to stop. I do have a good friend where we live now who can get me celery juice at a very, very good price. So I've been getting 30 bunches of celery every 2 weeks. So that's been super great, like organic celery at a super good price. I'm so grateful for having that option. So yeah, don't plan on stopping. Now, one thing I have not really done since I started this is travel. Because we've basically been living in a pandemic for almost the last 2 years, and I hadn't really traveled, much when I first started celery juicing. So I have not really had to deal with traveling and trying to find my celery juice. Like, if I did short trips, I could take my juicer with, I could take celery with. But like, we have not gone back to France, for example, for probably 2.5 years. So I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do when we do eventually start traveling again, or like if we're flying and I don't really want to take a juicer with me. But I will cross that bridge when I get to it. So anyway, if you guys have tried celery juicing, I would love to hear about your whole experience. I know celery juicing was kind of a big thing like 2.5 years ago, and I feel like it's kind of died down a little bit, but I'm over here going strong with it. So yeah, if you've done it, let me know. I want to hear everything. So anywho, I hope you guys are doing great. Have a fabulous weekend. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.